Hi guys, so in today's video I want to discuss why I think Game Week 1 is the best game week to play your bench boost. So as you guys know, FPL have announced that there are now twice as many chips as the years before. You have another wildcard, triple captain, free hit and bench boost. Actually, the wildcard we always had, we just have another triple captain, free hit and bench boost. And out of those three, in my opinion, bench boost is the hardest one to play because you're having to account for 4 extra players that you have to invest money into, and that's your bench players, which usually are your weakest players or lowest price players or the players that have the worst fixtures, or all of these reasons combined. Now I'm going to talk about the advantages. So I think Game Week 1 is the best game week to play it in because of many reasons. One being you can play it at the same time as having unlimited transfers. And now, as you guys know, there's only one game week in a year or in a season where you have unlimited transfers, where you could also play another chip like bench boost or the triple captain, and that's only game week 1. You're never gonna get this chance again, because when you do use, let's say, your wild card, you can't play your bench boost or triple captain during that week. You're gonna have to wait for the following week or following weeks, depending on how you planned it, to play your bench boost, which I think is less than ideal, especially for points 2 and 3, because in point 2 I say you don't have to worry about it again, where you can spend more money or pour more money into your starting 11, and that's one of the major points. In fact, I actually mentioned it twice. Point number 4 points you to point number 2 again, because the last thing you want is to pour money into players that you're never going to play again. So when you have money invested in your 5th defender, 5th midfielder, 3rd attacker, depending on how you structure your team, or 2nd goalkeeper, that's money that you're not spending on your first 11 who are actually scoring you the points. Your bench doesn't score you points unless one of your starting players does not start or does not even appear in the game. So point number 3 is, I think, also super important. You don't have to worry about injuries, suspensions, or rotations, because, you know, when you wildcard later on, because usually bench boost tend to follow a wildcard. So when you wildcard, you're getting your players, you're planning, you know, oh, let's bench boost next week. I'll have these bench players that have good fixtures or whatever. But then there is a strong likelihood that one of your 15 players is going to get injured. If not injured, then suspended. If not suspended, then rotated. Let's say one of the teams get a whipping and then the manager's upset and they start chopping and changing. You know, it's not a nice look, and you're going to be biting your nails thinking, oh, now I have to book transfers to transfer these players out, and etc. That's just too much effort, too much planning, and too many ways for things to go wrong. That's why, you know, just play it in game week 1 and then start, you know, pouring the money into your starting 11, and then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so is bench boost even that important? So this is a nice article that I found on Fantasy Football Scout, and I think this was written a few years ago, where they were trying to analyze. I mean, there's not much analysis to it. Everybody knows the average points you can get from your bench if you just look at your history or you look at your past game weeks. Now, you can't do this right now, but you could have done last year, because, you know, when you play the game, you accumulate points and you have the game week history, and you can just check, oh, my bench would have scored this or that. I don't think I've ever had a bench score higher than, well, I've had benches score 25 to 30 points, let's be honest, but how often does that happen? Maybe twice a year, maybe 3-4 times, okay, fine, 5 times, but there's a lot of luck involved, a lot of luck, and coincidences. So I think an average tally that the bench usually gets, assuming all 4 players are playing players or like starting players, is about 8. That's just 2 appearance points, and I think that's a good average. So 8 is a good average, and that's what the article mentions, and I agree with it. And a good ceiling would be 20. And bear in mind, I think when they wrote this article, because we only ever had one bench boost and we usually left it for double game weeks, so it's a bit inflated. I think it's more it's closer to 16 points, I would say. And how different is 16 from 8? That's 8 more points. So what are you really gaining by pouring all that money and booking all those transfers into these spots? I just don't think it's worth it. I think just play it and move on. It's always going to be your weakest players or players with the roughest fixtures that are going to be on your bench. So just get rid of it, play it, get those juicy. If somebody were to offer me 11 points right now, I'll 100% take these 11 points and lose the bench boost and just spend all that money into starting 11. But hey, that's just me. Moving on. Okay, so you can see there's a nice image of Pep Guardiola with his little Pep roulette. Yeah, that goes back to my earlier point that if you do wildcard in other game weeks, game week 6, game week 7, whatever, you're gonna have to play the bench boost at least a week after that, or maybe some people play 2 or 3 weeks. I don't even know how that works. I mean, it is possible in many cases, but then the chance of having a player injured, suspended or rotated, if you go back to the image here, which Pep loves to do, you know, sometimes teams get a whipping and managers get again, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, they get upset, they start changing and chopping, and then you got Europe. Oh my god, Europe is gonna cause so many headaches in my opinion, especially since we have maybe a record number of Premier League teams in Europe this season. So you have the best teams in Europe, and they have a lot of players, they have deep benches, a deep squad, and yeah, it's just too risky, too tricky. Playing it in game week 1 kind of avoids that because there's no Europe. They just have the game week 1, then 6 days rest, game week 2, 6 days rest, game week 3. They have so much time. I think there are a couple of teams that have a couple of European games here and there during those game weeks, just to be clear. But there's less risk. That's the whole point. You're trying to mitigate the risk of rotations, suspensions, injuries. And yeah, I think game week 1 is the most suitable game week just to mitigate those things. Here's a picture of, actually this is a screen capture of my potential wildcard game week 13. Now, why is this relevant? It's relevant because everybody and their mother is planning to play their wildcard in game week 13. Why? That's pretty simple and straightforward. You just look here, you got Liverpool and City and United and Newcastle, for example. Look at that sea of green, especially Liverpool and City being the most offensive teams. And they got 2 of the 3 promoted teams in these 3 game weeks. Of course, the rest of the game weeks, they look just as nice and juicy. Yeah, so you'd want a wild card in game week 13. I mean, you don't have to. You can always bank transfers and just build up to this point. And yeah, but some people are saying you can wildcard game week 13 and then bench boost afterwards. I just don't see that happening, and this is why I whipped this little draft. Of course, this won't be my game week 13 team, but on average, it looks similar, I guess. Many things could happen between now and then. But let's say you have Salah and Haaland, that's it. The rest is history because you don't have that many price points to play around with. And the thing I wanted to point at is the bench. You will have, I promise you, you will have nothing for the bench. You will have no money. And even if you target promoted teams, yeah, their fixtures aren't the best. So I don't know when you would be planning to play this bench boost. Sunderland, terrible fixtures. Wolves, terrible fixtures. Burnley, terrible fixtures. Leeds, terrible fixtures. Who else has cheap players? Hell, even Forest is not that exciting. I don't know. West Ham, terrible fixtures. Yeah. But let's say, because a lot of people are mentioning this as well. Well, Salah's going to AFCON in game week 16, so why not just transfer Salah out and then get your decent bench players, and then when Salah comes back, you transfer him in again, and all this for 8 to 10 to maybe 12 extra points. Come on, guys. You're banking, you're booking 4 transfers to get the players and transfer Salah out, and then another like 3 or 4 to get the players back in. Like, come on, that's like 7 or 8 transfers that you don't have to do. You're gaining a point per transfer on average. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now there may be viable options before then. What am I doing? I'm not sure when though. I mean, I looked into it, I did some research. I just don't see a clear game week where it's obvious that it'll be way better than game week 1. Because again, you have to look at it and say, okay, yeah, this is definitely better than game week 1. But if you're sitting there and saying, well, I think it'll do roughly the same or a little bit better, maybe, because again, there's a huge element of luck that plays into this. Just play it in game week 1, get rid of it. That's my opinion. I'm not saying it's the best thing to do. I haven't looked at every single game week, but statistically, numbers wise, everything is pointing at game week 1. Again, unlimited transfers. That's the only week where you have as many transfers as you want, and you can play the bench boost at the same time. I'm gonna show you my current team, which is this. Yeah, it's looking nice on the screen capture. So this is my current team. Of course, it's gonna look different to your current team. It's not gonna look the same, but it will cover the price points and it will cover the main players. So you got Palmer, Salah, Watkins, Solanke, Wirtz. These are all super popular core players to have in your team. I got that nice 6.5 price point. Oh yeah, and by the way, I got the 0.5 in the bank, so you could always chop and change around. Kudus can become Kluivert or Semenyo. Kudus can also become Mitoma, whatever. It's a nice price point. Anderson can be Reindeers or Reinders, I think, from City, whom I'm a big fan of. But again, Pep Roulette, I'm not so sure. He can be that Sunderland central midfielder, Le Fay. I'm not sure. But anyways, I hear good things about him. He's actually 5 million, not 5.5. Yeah, the 4.5s, we have a lot of them. They're all at the nice price point. They're all gonna get points, especially with the new CBIT that's been added and the change in BPS calculation. Okay, I don't have a 6 billion price point, but I mean, let's just go here and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the team that I just showed you, but this is an FPL.team just to plan ahead. But just to look at game week 1 and talk about that 6 million price point. So everybody's trying to get Virgil, or they have Virgil in their team, and of course I would love to have him because he's playing for the, I think, the best team in the league, in my opinion. He is dangerous when it comes to set pieces. He's always up there, and he gets a lot of bonus points if it's a low scoring game, and he is one of the very few highly priced defenders that gets CBIT points, or DEFCON. I don't know what you guys are calling it, whether CBIT or DEFCON or whatever. He's the defender to have. I agree. I'm not even arguing against that. But are you really missing out that much between game week 1 and 3 when Liverpool are playing 3 super offensive teams in Bournemouth, away to Newcastle, and home to Arsenal? Really? Like, are you really sacrificing that much? In my opinion, I don't think so. Other players like Frimpong or 8 Nuri, super risky. I generally go for players that I'm sure will play at least the 60 minutes just to bank that CS if it does come in. Yeah, I don't see an issue with having a 5.5 and a 4.5 defender to start the season, but yeah. By the way, again, I have oops, spoiler, I have 0.5 to play around with. I could make Milinkovic Van Dijk, but I mean, Nottingham Forest have very nice fixtures. They have Burnley, Sunderland, West Ham at home, even Brentford at home without Mbuemo. I like that fixture. Those are 3 to 4 potential clean sheets, and who knows if they park the bus properly against Arsenal and play well against Crystal Palace. There's like 3 to 4 clean sheets in these 6 games on average, which I'm happy about. So Milinkovic is going nowhere. But yeah, it's a nice looking team. Like, and the thing is, even if I wasn't using my bench boost, I think I'd have a very similar team. The team you're seeing right here. Maybe I would have Kelleher and Valdimarsson instead, saving another 0.5. Maybe Anderson would be that Lefay guy, so that's another 0.5. Mayenda might be just a bench fodder, 4.5. That's like 2.5 million right there. But yeah, like it's a good looking team. You can't convince me otherwise. And it's not a final draft, of course. It's subject to change, and I probably will make a few changes here and there. But yeah, I like it. And looking at Game Week 2, we haven't used the transfer. We have 0.5 in the bank. Does this really look bad? In my opinion, it's fine. I mean, yeah, Solanke has City away, not the end of the world. Liverpool are playing a offensive team, and who knows if Isak is going to be playing, so maybe they have more of the ball because there's less danger. I don't know, but like Liverpool most likely will score against Newcastle. I don't see it as a super dangerous fixture for the attackers of Liverpool. And lastly, I mean, look, we have Kudus on the bench, for goodness sake, so we could literally transfer him out, get a Bournemouth player, because they have, yeah, Wolves at home, then Spurs, and they have like a nice run. So you could get your Kluiverts, your Semenyos, your whatevers. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad team to have. And remember, you have your free hit. So if you really wanted that juicy Arsenal fixture against Leeds and Bournemouth against Wolves, I mean, just use the free hit. It's not really that big of a deal. You can use it in Game Week 2 or even Game Week 3. Now I haven't done it here because I'm showing you that even if you didn't use it, you'll still have a decent team. Look at this beautiful team. Look at this beautiful team. It's I don't see it being that far off from what you would be doing either way. Okay, sure, Salah and Wirtz have Arsenal, but let's say you weren't bench boosting. Let's just always go back to that point. Won't you already also have Salah? Like, what's really changed here? So you can't really blame the bench boost. Again, I also have 2 transfers and a 0.5 if I want to play around, and the free hit. Let's say I hate this fixture. Let's say I really don't want to see Liverpool playing Arsenal. I want my team to be, you know, made up of United players, Newcastle players. Who else has a good fixture? What about City? City away to Brighton. It's not the end of the world. It's a good fixture. Holland can maybe bag a goal or two. You could just do that. There's a lot of room and flexibility, you know. Game Week 4, I decided to use some of the transfers just to show you that you can get Virgil and have a transfer in hand. All I've done is maybe downgraded Anderson. Yep. And what else did I do? I guess I just downgraded Anderson. Got that extra mil. Already had a 0.5. 1.5 plus 4.5. You got your 6. And now is where Liverpool's nice fixtures start. So you trust me, you're not gonna miss out that much. I mean, you'd be really unfortunate and unlucky if Van Dijk got 2 clean sheets and a goal or whatever, something crazy like that, and the defender that you have in his place during those 3 game weeks gets nothing. Yeah, so I don't see that happening. This is when their fixtures turn a little bit, especially for these 3 game weeks, and that's when I would like to have Virgil, for example, or maybe even another 6 million defender. Let's see if Ait Nouri has, you know, cemented his place. I can get him then. Either way, the whole point isn't to discuss this team in Game Week 4, is to discuss the idea of bench boosting in Game Week 1, which I think is a perfect idea. I think it's the best, unless you have a different opinion, which many people do, and maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe there is a better way to do this. I'm hoping you guys can share that with me in the comment section, and maybe tell me what other game week I should be looking into. Maybe there's some, yeah, maybe there's a better idea or a better way to play this bench boost. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you found my analysis useful. And yeah, I look forward to making other videos, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.